Ratio and proportion. Commercial maths is the backbone of every trade. From time immemorial, man has been involved in the same kind of commercial activity. It started with the barter system of surplus food for other commodities of daily use. This promoted the idea of commerce and trade. With the development of civilizations, currency in some form came into existence and was used for trading in commercial activities. There are references to commercial ideas of ratio and proportion by Indian mathematician Brahmagupta and Bhaskara in their manuscripts as early as 628 AD. In the 16th century, percents were used mainly for computing interest and profit and loss. In this chapter, you will begin your study in commercial maths by learning about ratio and proportion, percentage, profit and loss, and calculation of simple interest in commercial activities. The employer had a pile of wheat to distribute among the workers in ratio of the work done by them. He had two workers, Ramu and Kalu. Ramu worked for 3 hours and Kalu worked only for 2 hours. Now when the time of payment comes, the employer calculates the number of hours worked by both the employees. So now the total number of hours worked is 5 hours. For each hour's work, a portion of wheat has to be given. Now Ramu worked for 3 hours, so he gets 3 portions, whereas Kalu worked only for 2 hours, so he gets 2 portions. So you see, both of them receive portions of wheat in the ratio of the work done by them. You begin by learning to compare the ratio and proportion between objects and finding the value of 1 unit of an item using the unitary method. Ratio is used for comparison between similar quantities in terms of their magnitude or measurement. Comparison between dissimilar objects is meaningless. Therefore, to find the ratio of 2 quantities, comparison should be between similar objects and in the same unit of length, volume, or currency. For example, the male-female ratio in a country. Population growth between 2 periods. Change in the sales figures in the 4 quarters of a year, etc. Comparison between quantities of the same kind can be done using different methods. One of the ways of comparison can be by finding the difference between 2 quantities. The other method can be comparison by division. The ratio of the 2 quantities in the same units is a fraction that one quantity is of the other. Therefore, for any non-zero numbers a and b, a to b is a ratio a by b written as a is to b. The numbers a and b in the ratio a is to b are known as the first term or antecedent and the second term or consequent respectively. Did you know a ratio has no unit of its own? Ratio can be expressed as a fraction. If the numerator and the denominator are multiplied or divided by the same non-zero number, the fraction remains unchanged. For example, 10:4, 5:2, 125:50 are all the same. Therefore, the same ratio can be expressed in several ways. However, in ratio, the order of the terms is very important. For example, 5:2 is not equal to 2:5. Equality of 2 ratios is called a proportion. For ratio, we require 2 similar objects. For proportion, we require 4 similar objects. A proportion is written as A is to B is equal to C is to D. 4 numbers are said to be in proportion. if the ratio of the first and the second number is equal to the ratio of the third and the fourth number. Equality of two ratios is denoted by the symbol as shown and is written as A is to B is proportionate to C is to D, where A, B, C, D are known as the first, second, third and fourth terms of proportion. The first and the fourth terms are called the extreme terms or extremes. The second and third terms are called the middle terms or means. There is a property to verify if the four terms are in proportion. If four numbers are in proportion, then the product of the extremes is equal to the product of the means. If the product of the extremes is not equal to the product of the means, then the four numbers are not in proportion. A into D is equal to B into C. If A into D is not equal to B into C, then A, B, C, D are not in proportion. For example, verify 30, 40, 45, 60 are in proportion. That is equal to 30 is to 40 is equal to 30 by 40, that is equal to 3 by 4. And 45 is to 60 is equal to 45 by 60, that is equal to 3 by 4. Alternatively, using the property 1, we have product of the extremes is equal to 30 into 60, that is equal to 1800. The product of the mean is equal to 40 into 45, that is equal to 1800. Therefore, the product of the extremes is equal to the product of the means. Hence, the four numbers are in proportion. If 3 out of the 4 terms of proportion are given, then you can find the fourth term by dividing the product of the extreme terms or the middle terms by the remaining terms. For example, to find the second term in 45, x 25, 35. 3 numbers A, B, C are said to be continued in proportion if and only if A, B, B, C are in proportion. Then B square is equal to A into C. Therefore, if A is to B is proportionate to B is to C, then B is called the mean proportional between A and C. Next, you will learn about the unitary method of calculating the value. A method in which a unit item helps in getting the result about any number of items is called the unitary method. There are some simple rules used in the unitary method. These are: to get more, you multiply; to get less, you divide. In the unitary method, you first calculate the value of a single unit of quantity from the value of the given quantities, and then calculate the value of the required quantities. For example, to find the cost of 45 oranges when the cost of 15 oranges is rupees 35, cost of 15 oranges is equal to rupees 35. Cost of 1 orange is equal to 35 by 15. Therefore, cost of 45 oranges is equal to 35 into 45 divided by 15. That is equal to rupees 105. Things to know: more is the number of articles, more will be the cost. Therefore, cost of any number of articles is equal to cost of one article into number of articles. So, if cost of 1 orange is rupees 2, then cost of 5 oranges is 5 into 2, that is equal to rupees 10. Less the number of articles, less will be the cost. Therefore, cost of one article is equal to cost of given number of articles by number of articles. So, if cost of 10 pens is rupees 100, then cost of 1 pen is equal to 100 by 10, that is equal to rupees 10.